Hi, Gabe Amatangelo, Game Director and VP.
Okay, what are you showing here new with Cyberpunk?
Phantom Liberty, the expansion. We got a demo here. You're able to play. Should I say what the demo is?
What people are experiencing.
It's about an hour into the game, and you're having to go rescue the president from. I don't want to spoil stuff.
You got to rescue the president.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, right? You meet a couple of the key characters, and you have some fun, and you get to explore some of the new features and stuff like that.
So let's talk about the new features and mechanics you introduced.
Yeah.
Like, what will returning Cyberpunk 2077 players see new in this expansion?
Oh my God, how much time do I have? So much. So
much as you need.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so first off, obviously, we've got a big, fun new story with some new complex characters of a different sort of breed of characters, if you will, because it's all in that espionage, kind of cyber spy thriller end. So we're talking president, secret agents, dictators, like so on and so forth, and V is thrown in the middle, and got to navigate these waters to either, well, I'll leave it to the players to decide what to do navigating these waters, but obviously a big draw is the relic and what's going on with the relic for V.
So that one sounds like you went from like kind of cyberpunk noir to like a spy movie.
We like making, complex characters. We like making characters that have kind of new angles and new approaches, but at the end of the day are all human, right? And so we want
most of them.
Yeah, sure, but they're human, right? One way or another. And so, again, a different kind of category of characters that we could explore these kind of similar themes that kind of tug at heartstrings and give you some difficult choices to make along the way. And some significantly different content based on some of the key choices that you make.
And then talk about what you learned from 2077 that you brought with you and applied and made better in this expansion.
Yes. The world of Night City, Cyberpunk, the lore is very rich and evokes a lot of kind of fantasies and things that you want to explore in it. And the team worked hard for 2 years, kind of putting their heads down and just wanting to kind of build on it. So we build on it a bunch from the fantasies you can fulfill as a character, the different ways you can play. You can now have that kind of like cyberware Terminator fantasy where you can pick people up and throw their bodies against vehicles and whatnot, vehicle combat. Being we really lean into cyberware, the cyberpunk fantasy within the gameplay loops, and got a bunch of new gameplay loops from cyberware themes. Like you could jump up in the air dash in the air, and then go Kresikov slow motion and get headshots, land on the ground with your katana blade, do a finishing move, block bullets, reflect headshots with your katana blade, be on your bike, pull out your katana blade, cut some tires, maneuver around police, NCPD, or the Barguest, which is the militia faction inside of Dogtown. There's the player agency of being involved in activities, but we've also introduced this kind of concept of there's other agency of other main characters in the world and things happening that V can interact or not. Take, for example, Colonel Hansen, the de facto colonel from Noosa, who at the end of the war took advantage of getting control of the district of Dogtown. One of his exploits is weapons dealing, and so he's got like airdrops and caravans of different weapons dealing things that happen in the area, dynamic and random, and you can interfere with that. We also have a couple of fixers that you're able to get into. They've got new kind of dynamic missions throughout the world, and it kind of really connects V being a mercenary with this new storyline because they play part of the politics in this new district. Again, just making it feel like, things are happening in the world without necessarily you triggering it. So when you say, what is some of the things I'm most proud of? It's those characters and the world feeling more alive.
The subsystems of how the economy and everyone works in their day-to-day lives with you not even there is what's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So talk about some of the new cybernetic augmentations you can get in this expansion.
Well, you can get new Kuroshi eyes that you can see through walls. You can get when the either the militia in Dogtown or the NCPD in Night City are after you. You got a face mask that you can change your appearance and kind of dupe them. We've done various enhancements to gorilla arms where very satisfying, and I don't know if you saw in the demo, when you go to the skill trees, there's little videos baked in to show you previews of some of their abilities.
Yeah, to show you how they work.
Yeah, very satisfying. Knock someone clean across the room or very far away. Slam the ground with your gorilla arms. There's a bunch. You can push the limit. We have a new cyberware capacity thing where you can push the limit, edge runner style, risk versus reward gameplay. There's a bunch, yes.
Well, those choices in the world that they've involved within the first game transcend translate over to the expansion?
The choices, you're saying the story, the narrative choice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the expansion is quite standalone. There's a little bit of crossover here and there with certain characters. I mentioned a fixer, also with Johnny, and behavior with Johnny, that kind of stuff plays in. But this is a all new story. However, things that you do in this new story do affect some stuff in the base game.
You went backwards. Interesting.
Yeah. So certain things, can affect Johnny and how he reacts to things that happen, as well as there's multiple different endings within Phantom Liberty. But then also based on, and I'm skirting around spoilers, certain things that you do can affect unlock a new ending in the base game as well, which I think players will be very excited about that one.
A reason to go back and play the original base game.
Yeah, I would encourage. We did similar to what we did with Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone. You can jump into the game and you can skip ahead to where the Phantom Liberty story starts, or you can play from the beginning and unlock it naturally through the story in the base game into Phantom Liberty. So you can go either way about it. But yes, there's so much that has kind of been touched up and new layers added to really make the world feel alive. I encourage both.
What are you most proud of in this expansion, whether it be mechanically or creatively?
Oh man, to pick one, and also to pick one without spoiling. So, tugging at heartstrings and difficult choices and characters that you really feel something about. Just the emotion of certain beats. Like I'm very proud of what we did there. And likewise, I'm very proud of just how the fantasy fulfillment, feeling like you're in the world and you can play more of a role you might fantasize with cyberware as well. So I gave you 3 things there. Okay.
So when does the game come out and what platforms will it be out at launch? When does the expansion release? Excuse me.
You'll find out soon. Does that work? Yes, you'll find out soon.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Depending on this airs, right?
Right.